At 6, at least 49 years in jail for the teenager who plotted a mass shooting at his primary school after killing 3 members of his family.
You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned.
This is the moment Nicholas Prosper was caught in Luton, covered in blood. The 19-year-old had shot his mother, brother and sister and was planning to shoot young children at the nearby school. A teenager who shot dead 3 members of his family and planned a mass school shooting has been sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 49 years. Nicholas Prosper, who's 19 and from Luton, wanted to be the UK's deadliest mass shooter. He was planning to head to his former primary school. The judge described his crimes as chilling and paid tribute to his brother, sister and mother, whose deaths, she said, were almost certain to have saved the lives of many children. This report from Joe Black contains distressing details of the case.
You're under arrest for murder, OK? So you do not have to say anything.
I didn't murder, it's not murder.
Nicholas Prosper wanted to be the most notorious school shooter in the UK. But this is the moment that plan is disrupted.
It's not murder.
He says it's not murder, but hours before this moment, he used a shotgun to kill his mother and younger siblings. This was the first part of his Friday the 13th killing plot. On Juliana Falcon's body was a book titled How to Kill Your Family. 13-year-old Giselle Prosper's body was found under a table, suggesting she tried to hide. And 16-year-old Kyle had also been stabbed more than 100 times.
Just gone up to knock on the door, sorry. And I had a massive bang, sounded like a gunshot.
Prosper then heads towards his former primary school. One of the arresting officers, who can't be identified for operational reasons, says he stopped him because he saw him acting strangely.
It was very overwhelming. It was me and my crewmate that managed to prevent this from happening. People may think it's a bit of luck. At the end of the day, I'm sure my team, they would have had the exact same instincts.
Prosper was fascinated by mass killers and spent hours researching them online. In this video, a plank of wood is a mock shotgun, but here he is with a fake firearms licence, duping a legitimate gun holder, buying the real thing. Afterwards, in the lift back to his flat, he and his gun are inches away from a delivery driver, and to practice handling the weapon, he used this teddy bear. Months on, some of the neighbours at Leebank are still distressed by Prosper's actions.
Even that day when it was happening and I was hearing everything, even the slightest part of me did not think a son is killing his mother, a brother is killing his sibling.
Today's sentencing hearing was delayed because Prosper refused to attend, leading the judge, Mrs. Justice Chima Grubb, to order him to be brought to court. She said, "You have to face the consequences of your actions." As she sentenced him, Prosper lowered his head and put his hands over his ears.
You intended to unleash disaster on the community of Luton. Your plans were intelligent, calculating and selfish.
The judge told Prosper the deaths of his family almost certainly saved the lives of many children, and the community owes them its gratitude and their memory should be honoured. Joe Black, BBC News, Luton.
Our UK correspondent Daniel Sanford is with me. A really shocking story. It's the second time since the Southport attacks that young primary school-aged children have been targeted like this. It raises some really serious questions.
Yeah, this disturbing case raises 2 really serious issues. First of all is this issue about young men becoming obsessed with school massacres and school shootings. There's been 2 cases last year of really serious import. There was Axel Ruda-Cabana, who carried out the Southport attacks, who was really obsessed with school massacres, and now this case in Luton. So that's really concentrating minds. The Home Secretary said she's urgently looking at this issue. One of the problems is this: once people become obsessed with this issue, there's a massive material for them available online that they can access, and also there's not really a system for picking them up. We even had the independent review of terrorism legislation saying last week maybe you need to create a new offence looking at preparing an act of mass murder that isn't terrorism. The second big issue is firearms. How does an 18-year-old boy have a shotgun and 100 firearms, 100 shotgun cartridges delivered to his car park at the bottom of his block of flats by producing a fake firearm certificate that he's made himself? And the Home Secretary has also said today that she's going to be urgently looking at the long-standing issues around firearm certification.
Daniel Sanford, thank you.